Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. I can't hear myself. Hang on. There we go. Now I can hear myself. Hi there. It's Woke Wednesday on the Morning Night Live, and I still opening a few tabs here, just trying to figure out what I want to talk about. But there are a few things that I got to talk about, particularly the guy in the thumbnail, which, you know, I don't particularly care that this guy is a paid shill, and it's just good to know that he's a paid shill. We'll get into that. We'll get into whatever else I threw on the board here, and we'll do that right after the intro. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the PDawgKnight Channel. It's Wednesday, Hump Day, the 10th of March 2020. My car payment's due today. Oh, I already paid it. Never mind. Oh, well, we were already getting started. Hey, you know, I really appreciate all of you being here so bright and early on this lovely Wednesday morning. You know, when I chose this time slot, I knew it was going to be a tough one to, you know, grow the channel, because not a whole lot of people are around in the morning, and sometimes every once in a while some of my friends are and other people that I like to listen to also go at this time of the day. But I like this time of day. I get home from work and get to vent a little bit, and then I go do my other thing, and then whatever. So and then I go to basketball practice, of course, which is ending this week. And so part of my agenda, now that basketball season is ending for me, if you didn't know, I coach high school basketball, is to take my practice time, my high school coaching practice time, and use that to write and make videos and get some regular stuff out. I know I had my series that I started, Proverbs for the modern day or modern era or whatever. And I'm going to change that. I'm going to change the kind of the focus on that. I'm going to change it to Proverbs for the current year. And I'm going to just make little 1-minute shorts on that. And put that, I don't know if you pay attention to the YouTube shorts at all when you watch YouTube, but there's these little short 1-minute videos. I'm going to change those into 1-minute videos and make them, because what they do is they kind of get put out there a little more, and maybe we'll grow the channel that way. But also, the biggest thing is, though, I really want to start making videos again. I've been thinking about it a long time, and I've been trying to figure out how I can manage my time to do that. Well, now that basketball season's over, I think I can do it. So that's the plan. Anyway, real quick, thank you. The first sponsor of the day, Pincalo. And did I reset this? No, I didn't. Gunfox, thanks for reminding me. You probably did. I didn't. Anyway, thanks, Pincalo. First sponsor of the day on YouTube Super Chat, who says like and share, people. Yeah, like this. If you come here because you already like it, you might as well hit the like button now. But I'll remind you near the middle and the end of the show, and all those times that I remind you. But bigger things that help is sharing the video. Now, I haven't even looked to see if I haven't even shared it myself. Oh my gosh, I am way behind today. So let's do this. While I'm talking, I'm just gonna put this out on Twitter real quick because I forgot. Silly effing me. Let's see. Let's go. Hand in the cookie jar. So, and I guess I suppose I can tell you what the hand in the cookie jar means. So our, I don't know if I would call him our friend, but one of the most smug and annoying, anti-Trumpers and now Biden sycophant on the internet has been caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Actually, we've recently found out that Brooklyn Dad Defiant is kind of a paid shill. Now, what was interesting, so he started trending yesterday, late in the afternoon. It's because some people were figuring out that he gets paid by some PAC. And apparently he kind of hinted that he was a senior consultant for some PAC, but it wasn't like he was getting paid, but apparently, so he's kind of a paid shill. And what he did to get famous is very much like the Krasenstein brothers. Here, I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. Here, live now. There we go. Let's put the link here. Very much like the Krasenstein brothers. His whole MO as far as becoming famous, and he's got over 800,000 followers on Twitter. And he did that by always being one of the first people to being one of the first people to respond to President Trump when President Trump would tweet. And it's kind of become a business model. Now, I've noticed since the president, the former president, I'll say the former president got kicked off of Twitter. No, I don't want that. Since the former president got off Twitter, his tweeting slowed down a little bit, but then it just became, now he's just, one of those Biden sycophant tweeters. And so everything Biden does is glorious, and everything that anyone else does is terrible, and the Republicans are terrible, and they're insurrectionists, and this and that, blah, 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 blah. But when these people started finding out, it's not necessarily the people who are Trump. A lot of people who are Trump fans, or a lot of people who are Republicans, have found some joy in finding this out, right? But there's a lot of people to the left of this guy who are kind of upset that he's this paid sycophant, because he's been pretty much praising everything that Biden and the Democrats have been doing. I'm sorry, I'm not looking. I'm trying to send out my notifications on these other platforms as I speak. By the way, I am also on Gab, CloudHub, Parler, Minds, and so if you're and also my own Discord server, as you know, that information is down below. But so if you ever get bumped out of Twitter, you can find me. I am always at PDawgKnight, as you can see up here behind the thing there. I'm at PDawgKnight pretty much at any social media that you can figure out. So if you're trying to find me, whether it's and also this particular channel goes down because I say something that the big wigs at ABC and is it Alphabet? It's called Alphabet and Google and YouTube. If I say something they don't like, and all of a sudden you can't find me, you can also find me on Trovo. You can find me on DLive. You can find me on Odyssey, which is Library or Odyssey, whatever. You can find me on Rumble, BitChute. Always at PDawgKnight, though. You'll always be able to find me if you lose me here. So don't fret if all of a sudden, poof, I've disappeared, because I'll never disappear. In fact, I'm also gonna do one. What is it? Daily Motion is still around. Vimeo is still around. I'll probably start posting videos on those places too when I go back into making videos. But anyway, back to our friend Brooklyn Dad Defiant. So this is, and I just went on to why he was trending. So here we are on Twitter here. Now, let's see. Caitlin Johnston. Oh, this is kind of moved a little bit. Well, here it is. Brooklyn Dad is a paid Democratic op. Is pretty unsurprising. It absolutely does pay to have or promote shitty political opinions in America. Now, polyamorous tantric sex guru wrote that. Interesting name. It's funny here, since Brooklyn Dad has been revealed to be a literal paid operative of the Democrats, let's share some of his tweets that show what six figures buys. Now, actually, it's not six figures. I think he's getting paid $60,000 a year. If you're familiar with the guy, he is super annoying. Let's see. Here's one. I swear the song Build Me Up Buttercup always makes me want to dance and sing along with it. What song does it for you? Now that that doesn't have anything to do with anything. Here's what. Every single person in the White House and member of Congress should be required to send their kids to public school for 1 month before the rest of us send ours with no testing. That should settle it. Interesting. I'll make these a little bit bigger here. What's this one? Oops, I skipped it. Wow, new CDC guidelines say that fully vaccinated grandparents can hug their grandchildren again. That is a game changer. Is that really him? Stephen Miller is just trolling the left with his words, cruelty and inhumanity, right? Kids in cages was his idea. Now, I beg to differ. Because the pictures of the kids in cages were from the Obama-Biden administration. I love saying the Obama-Biden administration when something bad Obama did, because you know how it goes. Anyway, by the way, I do have my cup of reparations in hand. I hope you're enjoying the day here. Hang on a second. I got to fix something else here. Let's see. How does this work? What the hell's going on here? That's not what I want. I got a widget. It's like sub and share. Blah, blah, blah. I'll figure that out later. All right. By the way, a couple more contributors, aka sponsored the Morning Night Live, popped up through Streamlabs, and Black Hebrew Israelite,
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day,
who says, have you got your taste or smell back since recovering from the boomer remover, aka the Wu-Tang flu? Just asking for a friend.
That's right.
Well, no, I have not. Okay, so here's the thing. Good question. As you know, I am one of the 99.97%. That should be a shirt. I need suggestions for shirts. Some of you gave me some, and I couldn't remember which show it was, and they're really good. So do me a favor. If you have a suggestion for merch that I should make, either put it in a comment section of one of my videos or streams, or send it to me as a DM in Twitter if you're on Twitter. That would be helpful, because I've had some ideas, but I need to up my merch game. I really do. But no, I haven't gotten my taste or smell back completely. Well, let's ever so slightly. Okay, I can kind of smell coffee. So I'm drinking coffee again. By the way, I am drinking coffee again, and it's fantastic. I can barely taste it. There are certain things I can taste. Like I can still, like, the actual taste things, like salt, sweet, bitter, whatever, those things, you know, the ones that are tongue involved. I'm back to getting those sensations. There are certain things I can taste. For some reason, I can taste honey. Like if there's honey in my tea, or honey, like if I put some bread and butter with some honey on it, I can kind of taste honey. I can taste certain, like garlic. I can kind of taste garlic. I can kind of taste soy, but it's not. Post it on Discord too. Post it on Discord. I do check the Discord too. If you have suggestions for merch. But no. And then yesterday I saw a post I can't find anymore, but apparently people who've lost their sense of taste and smell to COVID, apparently there's about 4 things that help restore it. One of them's eucalyptus, one is coffee. There were 4 things. I can't remember what they were, but so I'm gonna try that. Hopefully I'll get that back. But thank you for asking, Black Hebrew Israelite. I appreciate that. Also, Rod Line sponsoring the show today, and Rod Line,
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thank you, sir, who says, I can't stand Brooklyn Dad, and to find he is a shill is too funny. Speaking of shills, if anyone is interested in NFT crypto art, I have some for sale on OpenSea.io, as in open, OPENSEA, like an ocean, C.io. Search for Engine, ANJIN. I'm not above shilling to put food in the table, but it feels kind of dirty. Well, Rod, that is just absolutely fine for me. I appreciate your sponsoring the show, and I'm more than happy to promote your stuff too. So, and in fact, I will. Let's see. Watch this. I'm going to do this. Yeah, I don't know what is NFT crypto art, by the way. I'm not even sure what that is. But for those of you who didn't, what the hell's going on here? I don't want to do that. I want to cut and paste that. Okay, never mind. Let's do this. I'm going to copy. Let's see. Paste. And, oh shit, that didn't work either. Okay, well, whatever. Apparently you can't cut and paste the Streamlabs things. But anyway, yeah, Rodline, I have no problem you shilling a little bit for stuff you have. Also, real quick, I didn't thank people yet. Thank you, Renee Mayette. Thank you, Cynical Lindsay, for tweeting out the show. Please share the stream. And then if you do want to be a sponsor of the show, you can do that through SuperChats and or Streamlabs donations. That link comes up in the chat once in a while. In fact, there it is. This show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your SuperChats read live on the show. Click the link. All right, real quick, let's say good morning to everybody, because I'm going all over the place. I really wanted to laugh about Brooklyn Dad Defiant, though, because, well, let's do this. I'm going to say hi first, and then we'll go back to Brooklyn Dad Defiant, because there's a couple funny things that happened yesterday regarding him. First in the chat today was Furry Kitten. You get the bell. And Furry Kitten is lurking, says, I'm here to lurk and chew gum, and I'm all out of gum. So enjoy the lurking. Also, good morning, Rod Lion, and thank you for being a sponsor of the show. Good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Who also is a sponsor of the show today. Good morning, Justin Anderson, Lord Stanhope, Uncle Bad Touch.
Come on, man.
We know who you are, Joe. We know who you are. Good morning, Selecta Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, again, because I actually opened a stream window somewhere else and then I turned it off and fixed it. Good morning, Tyler F. Good morning, TC Ball, Austin Sand, Aaron Meredith, Gunfox61, Thomas Cleaver. How's it going, everybody? My name is PDawgKnight. No, your name is not PDawgKnight. My name is PDawgKnight. Also, good morning to Chef James. Welcome back. Bastard Beast. Nice to see ya. Good morning, Snoopy, Sheagrath, Attack Alpaca, Atheist Icon, Jonathan Peterson, Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate. Good morning, Random American. Let's see, who have I missed here? Anna Lynn, how you doing? Jonas Pedersen, not to be confused with Jonathan Peterson. Also, good morning, Zablé. And let's see, how am I doing here? Picalo, what's happening? Good morning, Lord Stanhope. I think I already said Lord Stanhope. I'm doubling up on some of these, but that's okay. I'd rather double up than miss you all together. Good morning, Jaded Emerald. Good morning, HP Lovecraft. Also, good morning to, let's see, who am I missing here? Cynical Lindsay. I'm getting there, people. Hyman Lyman, Richo, welcome back. I apologize. I meant to fix that little issue a long time ago. I'm glad to see you back. Good morning, Michael Hatfield. Good morning to, am I missing anybody? I got Rodline. James Colley, what's up? Good morning, hope all is well. Hump day. Yes, it is. And get on with it, Boomer. Also, good morning to Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian. Katie did skates in the house. Let's see, TC Ball said already. Okay, I'm getting there. I am getting there. Okay, looks like I've done my job, because I'm not finding anybody else. Unless some of you came, well, some of you might have come in late, because my little intro was a little longer than normal. Okay, looks good. Oh, Jen T, nice to see you. And Judaphine, nice to see you. Welcome back. All right, that's everyone who's in the chat. I'll try to keep up, but you know how it goes. Thank you, Tyler F. also for doing that retweet thingy that we do. All right, so back to the page shill. So I went on. So last night, so now there's a lot of people though who are trying to defend Brooklyn Dad Defiant, aka MM Paddlin, or whatever his name is. And so they're saying, well, it says in his bio that he advised Really American, which is the I think it's the pack that he gets paid for. In fact, right here, this one says, man, y'all kidding me with this shit? Brooklyn Dad M. Paddlin says in his bio he advised Really American. It's always said that. I'm feeling really protective right now, so kindly get off his nuts. Spoiler alert, he also has a book. Unfollow me if you have a problem. I don't follow you anyway, young lady or old lady or whatever the hell you are. Don't care. I just think it's funny. Let's see. Someone here. Brooklyn Dad is now posting testimonials of how well paid his propaganda work. Oh. Because, see, this is what he put in today. He said, saw that Brooklyn Dad was trending. Now, this is about an hour ago or an hour and a half ago. So he tweets this morning. Just woke up and saw Brooklyn Dad trending because a bunch of folks thought I was hiding information clearly stated in my profile, but even more of you stood up for me. Thanks, you guys. I love you. Well, Brooklyn. And then here, and then these people are, Brooklyn Dad Defiant is getting compensated. Apparently he's good at what he does. Well, being a shill. Anyway, so there's a bunch of people who are trying to, protect him. And I just, now he's also blocking people, which I don't know that I've seen him block people before. But me watching a few people bail from my followers list after I tweeted support of Brooklyn Dad, y'all are fakes. Well, look, not everyone bitching about Brooklyn Dad is on the right. That's the other funny thing. By the way, thank you, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
For sponsoring the show with a YouTube super chat. Says, it makes sense that Brooklyn Dad Defiant is a paid shill because I doubt he'll say these things on his own. Well, I don't know about that. I think he truly believes what he says, but it's just weird that that he's a paid shill, which is funny. So, how many of y'all still follow Brooklyn Dad? Another big difference between President Trump and Biden, or Biden-Trump. Trump held up the distribution of the stimulus checks so they could print his name on them, but Biden doesn't want his name on them. He just wants the checks out quickly. Now, that is a very, 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 very funny tweet by Brooklyn Dad Defiant, because it's interesting he's saying Biden, because as you know, Nancy Pelosi held up the entire negotiations on these whatever stimulus, put us into Zimbabwe debt hell checks until now, because she didn't want Trump's name on them. She didn't want to give Trump a win before the election. In fact, she's been holding him up since July, since the first ones went out. So the idea that, President Biden doesn't want to hold them up, well, they've been held up for almost 9 months now. So, what the hell are you talking about there, Brooklyn Dad? Good morning, Renee Mayette, by the way. Good morning, Ricky Ravioli. Nice. Hey, how you been, man? I haven't seen you around in a while. Okay, good to see you back. So what does that even mean? But let me see if I can find the man himself real quick, because there was another interesting tweet that he did. Oh, because of what happened yesterday. So he was trending yesterday, right? And I guess he does some kind of a podcast or something. Where the hell is this dude? He was in this list. Well, here, let's just go to his directly to his Twitter here. Here we go. So now he's retweeting everyone who's defending him, which I find is funny. So yesterday he was supposed to do a podcast. I guess apparently he does a podcast, right? And let's see, where is it? Oh, yeah. So yesterday, now we know for a fact that he saw himself trending yesterday. We know he saw himself trending yesterday. And all of a sudden, about 16 hours ago, whatever it was, yesterday afternoon when he started trending on Twitter, clearly he knew, because he spends all his time on Twitter. He tweets every hour. He's constantly retweeting people or whatever. He tweets this: "Hey Tweeps, no show tonight. My blood pressure is extremely high right now, so I have to chill. Can you see that? I don't even know if you can see that. Where is it? You know, my preview screen is not making me happy right now. It's hard to see. Anyway, so hey Tweeps, my blood pressure really high right now. So I have to chill. So I found that interesting. Smoke one and get the BP down works for me. Okay, although I don't do doobie anymore. Part of it, I think, now these are all the people wishing him well. But part of it, I think his blood pressure was going up because people found out that he's getting paid to be whatever it is that he thinks he is. I don't know. I don't care. You know what? I kind of get paid to talk what I talk about too, but I don't change what I talk about just because I get paid to do it. And I'm talking about my sponsors, you guys who sponsor the show. So I guess it doesn't matter that he gets paid for it, but I just think it's funny. You think of the Lincoln Project, Shill's getting paid to, do what they do, and now Brooklyn Dad Defiant being paid to do what he does, and that's that. Anyway, let's move on. So it is Woke Wednesday on the Morning Night Live, and then usually I try to have stories that have some air of wokeness. Good morning, Dad Wasteland, by the way. Some air of wokeness, and so we're kind of gonna get into that a little bit now. First story of the day. Apparently, there's some female entrepreneurs who are not entrepreneurs. I didn't say that correctly. Female entrepreneurs who are not happy with the Democrats' labor bill. And now this is out of the Free Beacon. Now, how Neanderthal is Joe Biden's thinking, or this administration's thinking, to want to outlaw a woman's ability to work. What? Hello, MC. MC's in the house, by the way.
Hammer time.
And good morning, Sean, too. A female independent contractor and a female small business owner criticized congressional Democrats for supporting a radical labor reform they said would harm female business owners across the nation. The pair ripped into the PRO Act, a massive labor overhaul that congressional Democrats are planning to vote on this week. The bill, based on California's AB 5 law, which was disastrous, would restructure U.S. labor regulations to significantly weaken right-to-work laws passed by more than a half of the states in the country, and would also limit the abilities of individuals to work as independent contractors. Jennifer O'Connell, a freelance writer and yoga instructor, said the California law hurts the people it's supposed to help, saying it pretty much eliminated most of my professional life and income. A lot of people do those businesses, or they're kind of, I don't say where they sell to their friends and stuff. Though it really hurts those. It hurts Uber drivers. It hurts Lyft drivers. It hurts a lot of people who have contractual small businesses from companies that do contractual small businesses. Anyway, as a woman-owned small business, the government is seeking once again to destroy my professional life, a life that I've spent decades building and performing without any government help, O'Connell said. How Neanderthal is Joe Biden's thinking, or this administration's thinking, to want to outlaw a woman's ability to work? House Democrats passed a version of the act in February 2020, but without control of the Senate, the bill did not get any further. President Joe Biden pledged to sign the PRO Act into law on the campaign trail, and the White House issued a statement Tuesday encouraging House Democrats to pass the AFL-CIO-backed bill. All of us deserve to enjoy America's promise in full, and our nation's leader have a responsibility to deliver it. No, you don't, Joe Biden. You do. The nation's leaders do not have a responsibility to deliver anything except the freedom to be the best you can be. And if you are you're going to kill businesses with this bill like they did all over California. Good morning, Evil One. How you doing? No. Yeah, no. God, I hate that kind of talk. No, the nation is, the government. That's just like, We're the government, and we're here to help. No, you should run away as soon as you hear that. Monica Wyman, who owns a flower shop in California, said the PRO Act will have a disparate impact on women, a disproportional impact on women, using their own language, who want to balance work with other priorities, such as raising a family. She talked about having to take time off work to battle breast cancer and how the passage of AB 5 in California upended the labor scene when she returned. I came back from that break only to face AB 5 here in California, which basically took away the opportunity for me to continue to hire other workers or to work on my own schedule around my doctor's appointments, to schedule events and weddings that I could do when I was feeling well, and to have the help I needed, Wyman said. AB 5 has really stripped us of this opportunity to do what we need to do, but still continue to work and contribute to society, to our families, and it's been a challenge. Hello, Scotty Dubs. North Carolina Congresswoman Virginia Fox, Republican, joined O'Connell and Wyman on the Monday call conducted by the Independent Women's Voice with reporters. She echoed the criticisms presented by the two businesswomen who said congressional Democrats are hypocrites for claiming to support workers while pushing damaging legislation. And disproportionate effect on women's. In January, the women's workforce participation rate hit a 33-year low, Fox said, at a time when employers and workers are forced to tighten their purse strings. It's unconscionable that Democrats would consider a bill that would take millions from workers' paychecks, cost employers an estimated $47 billion in new annual costs, infringe on workers' First Amendment rights, and put small businesses at further risk of closing their doors. If you want details of the PRO Act, you're going to have to look on a government website, but it's not a good thing, peoples. It's just not. Anyway, let's move on. More on Woke Wednesday. Apparently, Bill de Blasio's wife is urging New Yorkers to do their own policing. Now, part of that because they've been lowering budgets for police officers in New York City, and they've been defunding certain aspects of the police department. So do your own policing, New Yorkers. What could go wrong? Did it occur to any leftist politicians boostering for the defund the police far left trope that they might just be left holding the bag? Before I continue, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
For your continued sponsorship of the show, who says, I stand with Burger King.
That's right.
Women need to get their ass back to the kitchen.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opinions of the sponsors of the show do not necessarily represent the opinions of the host of the show. Thank you,
That's
Black
right.
Hebrew Israelite. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Chinese asshole.
Whoops, wrong button. There you go. There you go. The crowd goes wild. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, Check Your Logic. How you doing? Good morning, John Arnott. I see you there. All right. Anyway, so apparently this doesn't click with the far left people about the police, because in the wake of the media vaunted defund police movement, I'll put this back on the screen. Every last blue city in America kowtowing to this has, surprise, found itself in the middle of a crime wave. Crime-plagued blue cities are now becoming unlivable, and citizens who form their tax bases are fleeing. That presents a problems for these politicians. Caracasization. That's kind of funny. Is not for the faint of heart, but remaining fools. They don't exactly know what to do about it. Crime in New York City is out of control. So, Shirlane McCray, the scandal-plagued wife of the far-left Mayor Bill de Blasio, is now offering a bizarre new solution to resolve the problem. Every citizen, his own policeman. What could go wrong? According to the Daily Wire, the wife of New York Mayor Bill de Blasio wants citizens physically intervene to stop violent crimes 9 months after she convinced her husband to get aboard the defund the police movement by redirecting money from police to youth initiatives and social services. Here are her initial tweets. As a tax, now here's the other thing. Have you noticed you've been hearing a lot about anti-Asian hate crimes? You've been hearing a whole lot about that lately, right? And unfortunately, the demographic that's doing most of these so-called hate crimes, mostly they're just robberies and knockout games, but unfortunately belong a little to my demographic a little bit, at least most of the cases that we've seen. But they want to pot it off as white supremacy, where it's just crime, just criminals doing shit. Anyway, here's what she said, though. As attacks on Asian American communities continue, we're asking New Yorkers to show up for their neighbors and intervene when witnessing hateful violence or harassment. I know that can be frightening when you aren't sure what to do or say, but you can learn. Fear is a normal feeling when stepping into a confrontation, but being prepared can help. I'll share Hollaback's 5 Ds, which are easy to remember tactics that we can all use to de-escalate a situation. D is for distract, delegate, document, delay, and direct. How about directing a bullet right in their John Brown hind parts? That might be the best way to do it. Anyway, and here's her 5-point plan of action. Distract. Take attention away from the person causing harm, the hate crime or incident survivor, or situation itself. Just try interrupting it. Ignore the harasser and engage directly with the person who's being targeted by asking a question like, what time is it? Yeah, somebody's mugging an Asian dude, and I'm going to go ask the dude being mugged, what time is it? Number 2, delegate. Scan the situation and assess risk and determine how best to intervene and delegate tasks. Take a look at your surroundings. If you can, find someone in a position of authority, tell them about the situation, and ask if they can help. Hey, yeah, call the police. I'm just saying. Number 3, document. Support a person in crisis by recording on your phone or writing notes. Yes, take notes when the guy smashes the guy's head into the pavement. But please do not share a video without the consent of the person being harmed. Say the date and time and show the location if you can. Most importantly, keep safe distance. So gather evidence. Be a snitch. That's what she said there. That's what I'm saying. Number 4, delay. Check in with the survivor after the incident. What if they're dead? This shows them that they are valued. This is a great way to support your neighbor if you aren't feeling confident in the moment. Ask how they're doing. If they need support or if you can help them, file a report. Hello, 911. There's a man bleeding on the sidewalk here. I'm just showing my support. And number 5, direct. Respond directly to the aggressor or physically intervene. What if they have a knife or a gun? And only after assessing the situation, be confident, assertive, and calm. This is risky, but sometimes all we can do is speak up. If the harasser responds, try your best to focus on assisting the person targeted. Well, apparently since she was getting flack. Notice how few likes and retweets she got, as well as the angry comments which drew hundreds of likes. She put up this disclaimer pinned tweet apparently to cover tracks right here. We encourage New Yorkers to take this training to learn safe ways to intervene as a bystander when a fellow New Yorker is being harassed. It's not about them being harassed, though. It's about them being physically attacked. God, she's stupid. Anyway, we never want to put we never want anyone to put themselves in danger. These are tools to use only in a scenario where they feel it's safe. You know what else would help? The police. Good morning, Moonbase Radio. Good morning, Scotty Dubs. Good morning, Hypnagogic Monk. Good morning, Mike T. You're back. Nice. Nice. How are we doing, Mike T? I'm actually glad you came back. I hope we didn't scare you away too much yesterday. Let's hope the House doesn't wait and passes it today. What are you babbling about? Oh, the COVID relief bill? Yeah, he's going to sign it. Are they going to pass it without trying to make changes to it again? I'm curious. I am actually curious about that, Mike. Anyway, welcome back, Mike. I hope you become a regular. Oh, stop the harassers. Well, don't stop Mike. We'll take his harassment. All right, let's see. I'm dumbfounded by this. No, people, if there is someone being mugged, maybe you can help by taking, I suppose the only time action you probably can safely take is the filming. Sure, film it. If you can't intervene, if it's a situation where you feel you're safely intervened, yeah, absolutely help them. But this is not what's happening, okay? There's people being mugged. And the reason they are, part of the reason that they're making a big deal about the fact that Asians are being mugged now, even though they've been being mugged. In fact, in San Francisco, because two places they're making a big deal about that are in San Francisco and in New York City, and that's where most of the cases that they talk about are. When Nancy Pelosi talked about it the other day, when different news people were talking about the other day, it was both in New York and San Francisco. The one guy that got slammed into the sidewalk, the one guy that their old man who died, like a 93-year-old man, I think it was, a woman got mugged. It was both those cities. Well, in San Francisco, that is not even uncommon. That's been a common thing going on for years between the Asian and Black communities, where there's kind of a little bit of rift between the two because they live in proximity to each other. Okay, so it's just like when people talk about, well, black on black crime. Well, black people live near black people. White people live near each other. It's not about if it happens. It's about the frequency, the normalcy of it. But now we're hearing everyone talk about, well, Trump said something about China virus, so that has been breeding Asian hate. Bullshit. It's been going on for years, long before Trump. In fact, when I remember in San Francisco, I was in San Francisco several years ago, and they were talking about that, how, people are getting attacked in the streets, and, people who, for example, a lot of the cash businesses, a lot of restaurants are like cash businesses, then they'd be taking their deposits to banks that would get mugged on the way to the bank. It's nothing new. Anyway, let me catch up on some of these sponsors. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Who says, fuck the police, call a social worker after they got shot.
That's right.
Yeah. Removing police from the equation and lowering the number of police is not helping, and it's certainly not helping here in Minneapolis. In fact, that's why now the city council is proposing another, I think, what is it, $6 million? Is it $6 million? I can't remember, but some number where they're trying to get more police back on the streets because it's just not helping to remove that many police. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. Appreciate it. Whoops. There you go. Appreciate that. Also, Gunfox61 with the patriotic 1776. And
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thank you, Gunfox. Here's an idea. If you see someone getting attacked, put a cap or 3 in the attacker. When in doubt, double taps. I think that's what that says. When in doubt, double tap. Yeah, I don't obviously want to. Well, yeah. Look, her idea in New York City. You think people in New York are going to do that? I just don't. Anyway. But thank you, Gunfox61, new superstar during the day. Also, thank you, Chef James, who says, hey, John, I know you just got mugged, but what time is it? How's your day going? Is it okay if I share this video I just took? I know. Can you imagine? Someone's mugged and bleeding on the sidewalk and, hey, what time is it? I think they mean ask them what time it is when you see them start to get harassed. But the thing is, if you've watched some of the incidents that they use on some of these news reports, it's not somebody who's getting harassed. There was one where they're chasing the guy up and down the street. Okay, I can see maybe intervening, except there's like 20 people doing it. Yeah, I'm going to jump right in the middle of that or try to protect the guy. Maybe, maybe not. But in most of these cases, it's just somebody literally, boom, they get pushed to the ground, or boom, they get mugged. Okay? John, hey, sir, what time is it? Anyway, that's funny, Chef James. Thank you very much for the donation and or sponsorship. Also, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you for the 5-spot through YouTube Super Chat, who says, anyone that thinks they can reason with criminals is naive. Straight up. Nah, get a cop who's ready to put a cap in their ass, maybe. Again, I'm not promoting violence. I'm not promoting death and mayhem. Anyway, thank you, Johnny Hellcat, also with the $4.99. Much like 9/11, may we never forget about Rick Moranis. Yeah, Rick. Yes. Yeah, Rick Moranis got mugged in here. Just knockout game. You know, a lot of it's that bullshit too. And I don't know what to do that. That's some kind of culture shit. I don't know. By the way, good morning, Johnny Hellcat. Also, good morning, Duck Dog. Good morning, Fight for Your Rights. Nice to see you all here. Thanks for dropping in. All right, let's see. Many angry commenters, most of whom appeared to be New Yorkers, pointed out that a citizen in New York was actually killed last week trying to do what Shirlane urged. More still suggests that maybe a trained professional with academy certification and appropriate equipment wearing blue might be the ticket. Yeah, that's the ticket. Lastly, most said her suggestions were ridiculous, brimming with political hypocrisy. Hadn't McRae been one of the loudest wokester voices in New York demanding the defunding of the police? Hadn't her bizarre daughter been arrested one or more times in a crowd that was throwing things at police, squalling loudly for their defunding? Having loudly demanded that police be defunded over summer as in part of a leftist lunacy maneuver amid rioting in cities that was called off after it started affecting Joe Biden's poll numbers. McRae is now telling citizens that instead of having police, they can do their own policing, except here's the other problem. So you go do your own policing, right? And you stop a mugger or whatever from attacking somebody, and you injure them, and then they sue you. You following me here? They'll file a civil suit against you for being whatever you're doing. Anyway, good morning, Grisella, by the way. So I'm just saying, you know, there are professionals that are trained to de-escalate situations and stop criminals, and I think I'd prefer to defer to them if I could. But, you know, that's just me. SFM. So there you go. Joe Biden's poll numbers are rising. That's not going to last. Wait till he does that first press. How's that first press conference going there, Mike T? Oh, good Lord. Anyway. Yeah, his poll numbers will go up after people start getting checks. If you pay them enough, though, your poll numbers will go up. Anyway, let's get back into the next one here. Now, here's something in the state of Kentucky that I find dubious. And not that there's not a lot of things that are dubious in the state of Kentucky, but this one is, sometimes you just go, Kentucky legislatures advance a bill to criminalize insulting and taunting law enforcement. I'm not sure I'm a fan of this one. It's over the last few years, police officers across the country have been placed at the center of criticism, hate, and violence. Police departments have been seeing major depletions of funding, and officers are seen as evil beings. But one state is doing all they can to support their law enforcement agencies. Lawmakers in Kentucky advanced a bill that seeks to criminalize the insulting or taunting of law officers in a way that could provoke a violent response. According to the Hill, the bill says a person can be charged with a Class B misdemeanor of disorderly conduct if the individual accosts, insults, taunts, or challenges law enforcement officer with offensive or derisive words, or by gestures or other physical contact. Okay, let me break this up a little bit here. He doesn't need a press conference. He can't do a press conference, Mike. They're protecting him every day from even answering questions at the end of stupid things. Holy shit, Mike. Be real. Be honest. Be honest. Do you think that Joe Biden can get through a press conference or a live speech more than 10 minutes long? If you say yes, you're lying to yourself. All right, let me get back into this. And I don't like this. I don't like the idea of this long. If you interfere with a police officer or you have physical contact with the police officer while they're in the midst of their duty, yeah, that should be. I can see that being a law. But just taunting a police officer, saying bad words to a police officer, there is a little First Amendment problem with that. And even though I don't approve of people taunting a police officer, tell him whatever. But anyway, in the Bluegrass State, a misdemeanor is punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $250 following the summer violence. In cities like Portland, Seattle, the provision included in a larger bill seeks to increase penalties for violence and criminal acts related to riots. I have no problem with that either. I think peaceful protesting is a great thing, but anything that turns into destruction of other people's property or their physical harm should have consequences. But I don't like the insults, taunts. Get the fuck out of here. That's against. You have a right to do stupid shit, say stupid shit, and I even the assholes who taunt police during a protest or whatever, it's their right to do that. I think they're stupid, but it's their right to do that. Do not take that right away from people. The legislation was passed out of a state Senate committee last week and now heads to the full chamber for a vote. Comes after explosive demonstrations following the shooting of Breonna Taylor by a Louisville police officer last summer. It also says a person can be found guilty of disorderly conduct in the second degree when in a public place and with the intent to cause public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm participates in violent or threatening behavior. That's different than their words, though. Anyway, makes unreasonable noise, refuses to obey orders to disperse, or creates hazardous or physically offensive condition by any act that serves no legitimate purpose, according to the Hill. Yeah, that's pretty vague and can be abused, and I don't like the idea of this law. So there you go. Moving on. Biden Justice Department does an about face on police protections and drug legalization. I'm curious now. Vanita Gupta faces growing opposition from Republicans. Well, I don't know why. Let's see. President Joe Biden's nominee for the number 3 position at the Department of Justice repudiated a host of positions she once held, including abolishing legal protections for police and decriminalization of drug possession. Huh. I wonder why she changed her mind. Anyway, but good. The drug possession thing, I think you should decriminalize it. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, Vanita Gupta disavowed her past stances before the Senate Judiciary Committee Tuesday amid growing Republican opposition to her nomination. They've confirmed Gupta will serve as Associate Attorney General, the officer who advises department leadership and oversees key DOJ components, including the Antitrust and Civil Rights Division. Confirming the number 3 official at the Department of Justice is usually uneventful, but opposition to Gupta's nomination has grown as her more controversial views have come to light. The nomination also has become a flashpoint for Senate Democrats who have accused the GOP of unfairly scrutinizing Gupta because she's a woman of color. Yes, pull up that shield of color, POC shield. I'm pretty sure that's not it. It's funny because it's a shield. Look, as president of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, Gupta told the House Judiciary Committee that Congress ought to end qualified immunity, which shields police officers from most lawsuits for alleged wrongdoing. Look, you don't want to end qualified immunity, but you need to be very specific what that means. Sometimes the qualified immunity is interpreted a little loosely in many situations. But let's keep going here. Let's see. During her confirmation hearing Tuesday, Gupta told Senator John Cornyn that her previous testimony reflected the views of the leadership conference, not her personal opinions. I would look forward to working with law enforcement, with members of this committee, as you engage these really difficult and challenging questions. What we're facing as a country right now about how to ensure accountability when misconduct happens. See, misconduct misconduct and qualified immunity are two separate things. Okay, if there's misconduct, you should not be shielded for misconduct, but there is qualified immunity for certain things that happen if you are a law enforcement officer. The exchange raised more questions than it answers. While Gupta reversed her previous stance on qualified immunity, she did not clarify where she currently stands on the issue. Moreover, her insistence that she was only conveying the views of the leadership coalition leaves open the possibility that she would attack police immunity again if called to do so. As Associate Attorney General, Gupta would implement the Biden administration's views, not her own. Qualified immunity is a judge-made doctrine, so the Justice Department cannot end it on its own, but Biden's DOJ could put its prestige and resources behind abolition efforts by filing legal briefs opposing qualified immunity in general and its application to specific incidents of misconduct. So anyway, that'll be an interesting fight. She will probably be, she will most likely be confirmed anyway. Here's a good one. It's Woke Wednesday. Let me see what people are saying here. But how much is drug possession? A little bit, but what about LBs and what drugs? Yeah, I'm not saying all drugs, but I'm just saying there's certain. I don't. Okay, that's a good question. I have to think about that. Biden is talking to foreign leaders. Not sure where you get information from, but you might want to change that. You guys go off on you. Oh my goodness. Oh, I see. You guys are having a conversation here. Misconduct is a dirty bitch. Oh, good God. Anyway. All right. Professor compiles rankings of the whitest law schools and recommends eliminating excess whiteness by ending standardized testing. No. No. I got to tell you, as a person of color, who has a son who is a person of color and a daughter who's a person of color, and having them both excel exceedingly through standardized testing and stuff. You know what? If you don't have a standard, then what do you do? I don't get it. Professor Emeritus at the University of Dayton compiled a report ranking law schools by the percentage of white first-year students and encouraged law schools to eliminate excess whiteness by ending the use of standardized tests in admissions. An uploaded presentation showed. Professor Emeritus Vernelia R. Randall, presented a report titled 2021, The Whitest Law School Report. During a virtual event on March 4th, the report examined how white law schools are and how much excess whiteness needed to be trimmed in order for schools to be racially representative, according to a video of the event uploaded to Randall's site entitled racism.org. Now, this kind of shit bothers me only because it lowers it. I don't say it lowers the bar. This kind of shit does not take into account the fact that so the country is majority white, big deal. I don't care. I live in a white majority company. I can handle that. And that's fine. You know how you fix this problem that you see as a problem? You need to go into the schools where people from my demographic are not graduating from high school, let alone graduating from college, let alone going into a law profession. There are plenty. Now look, or go into the schools and encourage people in my demographic to go into law. But what does this even mean? You don't. God, it's annoying. I hate this kind of shit. Christopher Rufio, is it Rufy? Christopher Rufo, a director at the Discovery Institute, shared slides from the presentation on Twitter, and ranked the law schools by their whiteness. You know, this is just some divisive shit that does not help anybody. You know, I'd rather go into schools and talk about successful people and show kids in my demographic that, you know what, you can be successful. All you got, part of it is just, let's finish this first. And you can be successful in other ways than what you see on TV, okay? It's instead of trying to destroy the people who are already achieving, how about creating more achievers? Can we start with that? Can we start with just, instead of trying to tear down people who are already achieving, how about we go into our communities and create more achievers? That would be the way to do it, okay? And you don't have to do this. Are any of the law schools, what's interesting too, are any of the law schools too Jewish? Are any of the law schools too Asian? Are any of the law schools too Indian? I'm just curious. Is that what? This kind of shit pisses me off. How, again, instead of tearing down people who are already achieving, please, let's go create more achievers from my demographic. That would be a start. And it's not about the standardized test. Guess what? We all have the opportunity to learn the same shit in schools. Okay? Now, but if your culture in one area of schools is to not want to do this because it's not cool, well, then you need to maybe figure out how to fix that problem first. Good Lord. Quote, in the last 17 years, only a small number of law schools did not increase in total whiteness. One of the slides in the virtual presentation said, if we have schools that can get to zero excess whiteness, then the question for the rest of those are, why can't you? Because there's only so many achievers to go around. See, let me take a small example. My son, person of color, excelled in computer science in his school. And so when there's companies out there looking for, now it's okay. It's kind of like it's kind of like the wage gap thing, you know, or it's kind of like the women in STEM thing, right? So there was I remember reading an article about women in STEM, right? And there was that only 20% or 19% of the tech people at Google, only 19% of the tech people at Google were women, right? And so they wanted to increase the percentage of tech people, actually, you know, the programmers and whatever at Google, right? But then I went and checked, you know, I went and looked and said, okay, well, let's figure this out, because maybe there's a correlation between the number of tech people at Google and the percentage of women who are majoring in computer science at, you know, major universities. So I went and looked that up, and lo and behold, the percentage of computer science majors at major universities that were women was 19%. The exact same percentage of the tech people at Google. Well, now I think about my son, and I was thinking, okay, so I was asking him, because I asked him at the university he went to, and he said, yeah, it's probably about 20% of the women or people in his computer science classes were women. And, and I was like, okay, well, how about POC or black people? And it was like, he's like, well, I'm like one of 3 that I know of. Oh, is that kind of the same with the people who go to law school? Or I don't care what POC you are, okay? But the idea that you're just gonna look at the law school by demographic. How many POC go into those fields, or are they going into other fields? It's just to try to. Oh my God. Anyway, the report looks at white first-year enrollment among students and does not include white faculty or staff, while showing a list of schools that Randall determined had reached no excess whiteness. What the fuck is excess whiteness? I don't even know. Higher than the percentage of the population? I don't know what that means. 22 out of 200 schools had no excess whiteness. Speaks to the issue that this is not an unreasonable expectation. She said, no, it is unreasonable unless you think people are being denied access to law school because of the color of their skin or the demographic they fit into. That's it. Now, if that is the case, maybe it's a problem. Or is it representative of the people who qualify to get into any particular law school? I'm just curious. Now, Randall showed a list of law schools ranked by the amount of whiteness points. Then they increased or decreased by. Thomas Jefferson School of Law is at the top of the list of decreased whiteness with negative 41 points. The University of District of Columbia increased in whiteness points by 15.5% in the past 15 years, 94. Maybe no black people want to go to the University of the District of Columbia. Has anyone thought of that? Maybe the best candidates for law school out of black people would rather go to Georgetown School of Law. And so they apply there. University of District of Columbia. Has anybody even heard of that here? Okay, here's a question for you in the chat. If you have even heard of the University of District of Columbia Law School, put a 1 in the chat. If you've never, ever heard of the University of District of Columbia Law School, put a 2 in the chat. I would have never I've never even heard of it. Unless you're from the District of Columbia and you're staying in the District of Columbia to go to school. But unfortunately, the District of Columbia school system, public schools at least, I don't know if they're even graduating that many kids that would go on to college and go into. But never mind. Fuck. This shit's so stupid. I'm going to leave this in the tabs. You can read this crap yourself. It's amazing. It's amazing. And you know what? I'd be telling my. I certainly wouldn't be telling my kid to go to the University District of Columbia Law School. I'd tell him to go to. Well, I live in Minnesota. I would tell him to go to Hamlin or William Mitchell School of Law, world famous William Mitchell in St. Paul, Minnesota. That's where I would send my kid to law school. Just saying. So he would be bending the curve of the whiteness of William Mitchell Law School if I could talk him into going there. One person out of everyone in my chat who's even voted on this has heard of the University of District of Columbia. Avocatus Diabli, you must live somewhere in that area because I never heard of this one. Anyway, maybe they would have more students if all DC wasn't a ghetto hellhole. That's a little harsh, but there you go. All right, let's move on. More Woke Wednesday. Oh my God, Candace premieres what? Wait a minute. Oh my God. Oh my God. Candace premieres March 19th. Join to watch. Okay, I'm you know how I feel about Candace Owens. but I'm just curious. I'm clicking this just to see what the hell this is. Oh, that's right. Candace Owen is moving to the Daily Wire. She used to be with, was it Blaze TV? And then she moved to, I think, Prager. She has her little interview show that she does. Dumbest Cat, Daily Wire's new show starring conservative lightning rod Candace Owens. Join us weekly. Delves into political and cultural issues of the day with her signature blend of intelligence and humor. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Now, I'm not a big fan of Candace, as you know. However, I have watched some of her interview shows, and she is actually, she's actually kind of coming into her own, at least as far her interviewing skills have improved quite a bit. I'm still not a fan, but occasionally I will watch her interviews if it's something that's really interesting. Or some of her best ones are when she interviews someone who completely is opposite or opposes her. And sometimes they have really good and not as contentious as you would expect conversations. So it's fascinating to watch her at least become less talking pointish and actually being able to think on her feet. So I'm not, whatever. She's actually gotten a little better as far as her ability to actually convey ideas and maybe have a little more conviction, but I'm still not a fan. Candace is about Candace, and I don't think Candace is really about the issue she wants to talk about. So that's what things that bother me about her. But anyway, apparently, let's get back into Woke Wednesday though. The teachers in private LA Teachers Union, Facebook warns members not to post vacation photos because of optics. Now it's funny because I talked about this last week, I think, but the Daily Wire is finally picking up on it. The UTLA, the Los Angeles Teachers Union, voted last week not to return to in-person classroom instruction until a series of demands are met, including a demand that all teachers and staff be vaccinated against COVID-19. But now members are warning each other on a private Facebook group not to reveal that some individuals have been taking vacations while schools have been closed due to avoid bad optics. Newsweek reports that a private Facebook group from a teachers union in Los Angeles warned members not to post images of spring break vacations online after the union voted to remain closed for in-person instruction. So we can travel and go to, we can pull a Ted Cruz and go to Cancun, but don't shed any pictures because we don't want to look bad. Members of the United Teachers Los Angeles UTLA Union were told to avoid sharing images of vacation in a leaked private Facebook group to avoid controversy with parents, the outlet noted, citing Fox 11 LA, which found the post. Friendly reminder, if you're planning any trips for spring break, please keep that off of social media. It's hard to argue that it's unsafe for in-person instruction if parents and the public see vacation photos at international travel, one of the group's members posted to the others. So, to hell with your kids, but we're going on vacation, and we're doing those Zoom calls from Puerto Vallarta. Okay, so there's some woke hypocrisy from the teachers union. Moving on. In Naperville, Illinois, apparently they're going to continue their critical race theory training. Teachers doubled down in support of racially divisive training. Public school teachers in a high-income suburb of Chicago are denouncing the Federalist and attacking one of its writers while affirming their support of for disparate treatment of Americans based on race. Yes, they are doing some separate but equal there. As reported by the Federalist last week, Naperville 203 Community School District staff and faculty attended a county-wide Equity Institute, run away whenever you see that word equity, training on February 26. A whistleblower sent notes from the keynote speaker, Dina Simmons, and 9 other anti-racist coaches to the Federalist, as well as evidence that such as PowerPoints from the training insisting America is institutionally racist. Other teachers also provided statements. One PowerPoint slide in the Valbrum Consulting Group presentation said the term "Make America Great Again" Is covert racism comparable to the N-word, hate crimes, lynching, and the KKK? I think he meant make it great for all Americans, which I feel like I'm part of that, but, you know, who knows? According to the below slide, if you're part of the half of the country that voted for former President Donald Trump, you are a racist!
That's racist!
And a white supremacist. For a school that prides itself on diversity and inclusion, this is troubling to say the least. Wait a minute. Now, if you knew anything about Naperville, Illinois, Naperville's a pretty lily white suburb. Anyway, according to the graph shown at the training, celebrating Columbus Day, thinking racism can be directed against white people and colorblindness are also forms of white supremacy. Well, you know, we all have our opinions. Here's their little chart. You can check that out when you go back, check the tabs. American taxpayer dollars are being used to indoctrinate America's educators and, in turn, students with dangerous lies like these. Nonetheless, many teachers employed at Naperville 203 School District publicly doubled down on this insanity when exposed by the Federalists. Quote, last week I did a keynote in a conservative district and caused my usual hashtag good trouble. Oh my gosh, my inboxes are full of hate mail and threats. I'm unsettled, especially after June's racist attack at Yale. What? Okay, I'm not sure. I wish there was a link for that. I had a whole article with fake facts attacking me. This work isn't easy, but I'll keep on, tweeted Simmons. Simmons was contacted by the Federalists to find out what facts were false, but she refused to reply, instead posting the email on Twitter so followers could attack this author, including through his university. Thanks to the many educators in Naperville 203 for drowning out hate with love and support. I worry about your neighbors whose white fragility quickly turns to white rage. What that means for young people. I believe you'll fight the fight towards hashtag collective justice. There's no such thing as collective justice, my God. Simmons also wrote a petition titled Educators Who Support Dina Simmons and District 203's equity work started after the article by Phoebe Connor, a learning behavior specialist at Naperville North High School, has 243 signatures as of writing. I, Phoebe Connor, strongly stand with Dina Simmons and the other Institute Day presenters, which included student panels made up of individuals with disabilities, Black students, Asian American students, LGBTQ students, Muslim students, Hispanic, Latinx. Do not say Latinx in anything you write. My God, that's so racist. It really is. It's racist to try to, for white people to try to change another culture's language and culture. Didn't you know that? Don't you know that that is racist?
That's racist!
I fervently denounce the Federalist article. I vociferously denounce discrimination and prejudice everywhere. Well, you know what? I'll bet you the writer of that article also denounces discrimination and prejudice. I'm going to guess that that's the case. Y'all, see, by you saying that doesn't mean that someone who disagrees with your methods doesn't also denounce discrimination and prejudice. Maybe they see your teaching as discrimination and prejudice, that it does nothing more than make things more divisive. These people. I promise to continue to do the anti-racist and other reflective work needed to be the best educator I can be for all of my students and to be the best person I can be for all beings. I am thankful to District 203 for providing the professional development our staff needs in order to effectively serve our community, and I ask the district to continue to provide such resources and training. On Twitter, leftist educators in the district have also doubled down in their support for the ideas of institutional racism, government-mandated equality of outcome, which is equity, white guilt, white privilege, and other critical race theory concepts. Here are some of the more notable posts, although a search of the phrase Naperville 203 brings up many more. Thank you, Naperville 203. The Equity Institute scholars inspired me to reflect on my experiences within systems, examine how schools historically underserved BIPOC, or BIPOC, visualize a future where schools serve all students and act within my sphere for educational equity. Oh, yeah? Great. Here's what you can do, Stephanie Aspan, ED. I suggest that you just pass everybody and don't teach anybody anything. Then your equity goals will be met. Everybody will be the same type of stupid. How's that sound? Or you can challenge yourself and maybe figure out how to reach some students who may be underperforming. How about that? Maybe find a way to help students perform better. Oh my God. Again, if you see the word equity being bandied about, run away. Thank you, Rod Line, for another deuce plus 23. Says, I grew up in Naperville and have a relative that teaches there. This is a shit show from what I hear. I believe it. Having attended Drake University, I knew several people from Naperville, and not one of them had much melanin. Just saying. But which is fine. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'm me. I'm friends with everybody, and this is insanity. Now somebody, Heidi, says, my instruction improves daily, even during a pandemic, in the middle of a pandemic, because of opportunities provided by Naperville 203. Reflective and responsive pedagogy serves all students and is not threatened by questioning of the status quo. Thank you, Dina Simmons. Keith Carlson. According to the Federalist, D203 teachers were shamed for the color of their skin. For the record, Dina Simmons, Chris, whatever, educated and energized me to be a better teacher. They did not shame me for being white. I can only speak for myself, though I doubt I'm alone. Oh, Deme Cortez, who says, as a Latina, oh my God, you just broke the rules, Damarie, or whatever it is. You said Latina, not Latinx. As a Latina educator in District 203, I am proud of the deep equity work we are doing. Yeah, well, equity means your school's failing because there are always going to be people who do better. Some people are going to do worse. Your challenge is to help the ones who are not, who are doing worse. But you know what? People aren't equal, so there's no such thing as equity. Okay, people have different abilities, different desires, different drive, different determination, and there's never going to be equity because that's what determines how far you can or cannot go. And the only thing you can hope for is that you can inspire kids to do the best that they can be against themselves, or sometimes overachieve of what they can do themselves. You cannot make it so that every kid has the exact equal outcome. It doesn't work that way. All you do is set up kids for failure. It's ridiculous. Anyway, if you want to read more of these tweets, holy shit. While leftist teachers feel comfortable, you can read them there. I'll skip them. Oh my gosh. While I'm 100% disgusted by your inaccurate, poorly researched, one-sided article, you should know that it also threw gas on the fire for me and my colleagues. This whistleblower has reinforced the need to ensure every single student in Naperville 203 is served by an anti-racist educator committed to dismantling the racist system our students of color encounter. What? Oh. Okay. Lisa, if you're a racist, that's good to know. I will avoid you. Got it. While leftist teachers feel comfortable openly stating their support for racist policies on social media, teachers who believe in equal treatment of all regardless of skin color are relegated to reaching out in private for fear of retribution. Vladimir Lenin stated, "Give me just one generation of youth and I'll transform the whole world." It is no wonder that critical race theorists and others of their ilk are trying to brainwash educators with their propaganda, the whistleblower told the Federalist. As an educator, it disturbs me that our district would fall into this trap and perpetuate these falsehoods. The Federalist tried messaging several teachers to learn what specific facts in the initial article were false, as alleged, but none were interested in having a conversation. Several educators blocked me instead. That's the writer here. No surprise. They don't, you know what? They want to be able to tell their flowery language, but not be able to sell it, not be able to explain it. You can read the rest of this article on your own. Moving on. Apparently, a high school football coach was also fired after raising concerns about critical race theory in his daughter's middle school curriculum. Great. A high school football coach who led a Massachusetts school district team for nearly a decade was fired in early 2021 after he raised concerns about the use of critical race theory in his 7th grade daughter's curriculum. So you can't even ask questions about it, apparently. You can't even ask questions about it. I don't think this improves people's lives. That's where my problem is. David Flynn, with the help of Judicial Watch, filed a federal lawsuit in February seeking damages from Dedham Public Schools administrators, including the superintendent, high school principal, and high school athletic director, for violating his First Amendment rights to speak out. The lawsuit explains that Flynn was released from his position just a few months after talking with his 7th grade daughter's history teacher, principal, superintendent Michael Welch, and three more people on the Dedham School Committee about the quiet changes to the middle school's world geography and ancient history 1 curriculum without notification or review by the parents. These changes, Flynn complained, including coursework on politics, race, gender equality, and diversity that were not suitable for 12 and 13-year-olds. Subjective coverage of these topics, literature, and other class materials that labeled all police officers as risk to all black people. What? And all black males as risk to white people, and teachers' blatant support for Black Lives Matter. Wait a minute. I bet that's not written right. So wait a minute. Labeled all police officers as risk to all black people, and all black people as risk to white people. I bet they got that backwards. They wrote this. And the lawsuit describes one of the daughter's assignments. Okay, here's an assignment that they got in his daughter's 7th grade history class. Plaintiff's daughter was asked to consider various risk factors and mitigating factors that 2 people, one identified as white and the other identified as black, purportedly might use to assess each other on a city street. Included among the various factors were skin color, gender, age, physical appearance, and attire. Black, aggressive body language, and wrong neighborhood were among the risk factors purportedly assessed by the person identified as white. White and police officer were among the risk factors purportedly assessed by the person as black. Oh, I see why that other sentence went that way. Were among the risk factors purportedly assessed by the person identified as black. The school's lack of action on these concerns, however, forced Flynn and his wife to remove their 2 children from the DPS system. In an October 2020 email, Flynn wrote that the superintendent failed to ensure teachers were presenting course information objectively and without bias. I believe all relationships are based on compromise. The superintendent was not willing to compromise. I explained to him further that if a teacher teaches the course objectively and removes the BLM logo from the class, people will soon get over the fact that the class was purposely created without notifying parents and without having visible course curriculum, syllabus, and learning objective, Flynn wrote. Apparently, it does not mean much to him that the Dedham public school system is losing 2 wonderful students, end quote. In January 2021, Welch confronted Flynn about his concerns and told him that the school was going in a different direction. Immediately after the meeting, the superintendent, high school principal, and athletic director publicly stated that Flynn would no longer serve as head football coach because he expressed significant philosophical differences with the direction, goals, and values of the school district. I wonder what his players thought. Flynn had a significant personal history with the district, including graduating from the high school in 1989, shortly after leading the school's football team in an undefeated season championship, and on their journey to the Eastern Massachusetts Super Bowl. He was also given a spot in the school's Athletic Hall of Fame in 2002. I wonder if they'll rescind that. And later served as assistant football coach from 2002 to 2006 before transitioning into his head coaching role in 2011. This is my hometown. This is where I want to live and raise my family. When the opportunity arose, I knew it was really special, as Flynn said in 2011, shortly after he was hired. It was during his time as head coach. The lawsuit notes that he significantly improved the team's skills and record and rebuilt his hometown team by dedicating his life to his players. So, goodbye, Coach Flynn. It's unfortunate. And, you know, it's up to parents to ask questions. Disney, it's Woke Wednesday, and this is going to be, I'm going to finish up with this, even though I got a couple more. Disney Plus filters racist films, Jumbo and Peter Pan, out of the kids' profile mode. You know, so at least they haven't gotten rid of them yet. Good morning, yes, Mr. Yes. They haven't gotten rid of them, but children can no longer watch Dumbo, Peter Pan, Swiss Family Robinson, and the Aristocats on Disney's Disney Plus streaming service while using the kids' profile mode, which filters out titles flagged with content warnings, including scenes now deemed as racist. Now, I know what scenes in these, there are scenes in these movies that, current year probably don't necessarily meet the political correct the politically correct requirements that your high school and junior high principal would want, or especially elementary school principal would want. But maybe you could watch it with your kids and just explain, you know, how things were different then. The titles with a content advisory notice related to negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures have been excluded, Disney explains in its online help center. The move comes after the company had previously flagged films for portraying racial stereotypes. Now they have been excluded from its ostensibly child-friendly restricted mode. Disney goes into details on the Stories Matter section of its website, where the company explains its decision-making process for slapping content advisories onto the films, forbidding children to watch them. In Dumbo, the Crows and musical number pay homage to racist minstrel shows where white performers with blackened faces and tattered clothing imitated and ridiculed enslaved Africans on southern plantations, Disney explained. The company adds that the leader of the group in Dumbo is Jim Crow, which shares the name of laws that enforced racial segregation in southern United States. Meanwhile, Peter Pan has been dropped due to its portrayal of Native people in a stereotypical manner that reflects neither the diversity of Native peoples nor their authentic cultural traditions. It shows them speaking in an unintelligible language and repeatedly refers to them as redskins, an offensive term, the company says, adding that Peter Pan and the Lost Boys engage in dancing, wearing headdresses, and other exaggerated tropes, a form of mockery and appropriation of Native people's culture and imagery. Swiss Family Robinson, the pirates who antagonize the Robinson family, are portrayed as stereotypical foreign menace. Okay, they're pirates, dumbasses. The other two, look, I can understand that. The Aristocats, I'm pretty sure it's the East Asian people with exaggerated stereotypical traits such as slanted eyes and buck teeth, and also the Siamese cats have their little song. Look, I guess I'm of the mindset on this one. At least they didn't ban them completely. I can understand how some of the images may be offensive to people, but at least they didn't get rid of them completely. Took them out of the. I don't know if take them out of the children's section. I don't know. But you know what? I don't know. I'm not going soft here. I'm just saying the fact that they haven't gotten rid of them, I'm fine with that, because I think it's an opportunity. If I'm going to watch those movies, and I would watch those movies with young kids and just explain to them, you know what, here's how people thought then, and it's different now, but still, it's a cartoon, and I'm pretty sure the kids would forget those images as soon as they saw them. But whatever, I don't know. Certainly didn't. Look, I watched all 4 of those movies when I was young, and I don't know that I think about those people that way now at all. So I don't know. Diesel Dave, holy smokes, how you been, my brother? Nice to have you back. All right. So anyway, oh my God, it's Woke Wednesday. That's being woke. So the other articles that are in the tin that you didn't get to hear today. One, Piers Morgan resigns from the British Morning Show after backlash over Meghan Markle's comments. I am avoiding the whole Meghan Markle thing and the royal family, because in the words of Famous Amos, the cookie maker, the famous cookie maker guy, Famous Amos, you know about those cookies. In the words of Famous Amos, I really don't give a shit. So, there's some silliness in that whole thing that I just don't care about. I'm sorry. And then also, more stuff about how anti-racism is infecting the legal profession. Yes, maybe I might touch on this one tomorrow, because there's definitely an FTG in that one. Also, Robin DiAngelo apparently turned down a $10,000 fee from a public university and insisted on $13,000, a $13,000 fee. Wait for it. For a pre-recorded speech. I have to go to this one. I'm sorry. This is how universities go woke and get woke and go broke. She's the white fertility chick. You know who I'm talking about? Robin DiAngelo. Did I say chick? I can't even believe I said chick. Author upset that the Free Beacon is not interested in racial justice. Robin DiAngelo, the white author of a best-selling anti-racism book, balked at a request to accept a reduced speaking fee from a public university amid the coronavirus pandemic, in the middle of a pandemic, insisting that her $12,750 rate was already a bargain. This is the talk about grifter, grievance grifter. Holy shit. DiAngelo agreed in early 2020 to be the keynote speaker at the University of Wisconsin's annual Diversity Forum, which takes place in October, when the university alerted her in July that the event was transitioning to a virtual format due to the coronavirus pandemic, and asked whether she would accept $10,000 for the gig, for not having to travel and actually do it in person. She declined. $15,000 is already below her current rates for virtual events, and we've agreed to discount that price by 15%, DiAngelo assistant told the university. DiAngelo was paid $12,750 and delivered a pre-recorded keynote for the event, according to the emails, which were obtained through open records request. The university request came amid the widespread protests following the death of George Floyd, and as students began to question why DiAngelo, a white woman, was being given the most prominent speaking slot at Wisconsin's Diversity Forum. Great question. In the wake of George Floyd's murder, I just said that. In the wake of George Floyd's murder and the worldwide protests, it seems one thing is overwhelmingly agreed upon by people seeking equity Runaway. And now is the time to elevate people of color's voices, a student argued in an email to D'Angelo, which was shared with the university. On that note, I was wondering if you could share why such a prestigious speaking spot should be saved for you rather than a person of color. Because she's Robin D'Angelo. She wrote the book on white fragility. On that note, D'Angelo, the author of the acclaimed book White Fragility, told the university she would completely support a decision to move her down the event speaking list, adding that the student made a good point. Well, good for her. The university decided to stick with D'Angelo, but did ask whether she would lower her fee given the event was made virtual. She didn't have to travel. Because, normally her live fee is like 30 grand. She's like the most expensive person on the old circuit right now. Let's see. The Washington Free Beacon reported last November that Deangelis Payment was 70% larger than what was given to the event's other keynote speaker, Black author Austin Channing Brown. Neither D'Angelo nor the university responded to requests for comments on the email. Deangelis, who's set to release a new anti-racism book this summer, titled "Nice Racism: How Progressive White People Perpetuate Racial Harm." Oh, she wrote a book about herself. Has defended her high speaking fees on her website's accountability page, which was overhauled after a Free Beacon report on her exorbitant fees. She says charging upwards of $30,000 is well within the standard range for a best-selling author who is in high demand. Well, that's true. I got to tell you, that is true. While D'Angelo acknowledged the merits of arguments against a white woman headlining a diversity event, she also argued that her placement made sense. And not only sense, but it made lots of dollars too. I assume that you choose me because you are a primarily white audience, and my message is primarily to white people, and you value my work, and you made this choice before the events surrounding the killing of George Floyd. D'Angelo wrote in a message to the university's event coordinator. Now has an extensive section dedicated to the ethics of a white person being paid to do anti-racist work, in which she says critiques of her work have been inflamed by Free Beacon reports on her finances. She's taking it all the way to the bank. Anyway, that's really all that article says. Hey, gang, it is time to go. By the way, someone asked, has anybody here taken the vaccine yet? I have not, but my wife has had already both shots there, Mike. I've already had the vid in December, so I'm in no hurry to be vaccinated because it's kind of redundant in my case. So there you go, if you want to really answer that question. And for the rest of my friends in the chat, I am so happy that you all decided to be here today. Nice to see 58 people. Holy smokies. That's awesome. It's growing every time. Top number of current viewers, 62. That is fantastic. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, before you do anything else, we got 62 people here, 49 likes. Hit the like button before you go. Also, come back and make a comment in the comment section. I don't know what you want to say, but just do it sometime because it always helps. Here's what I want you to do. Hit the like button, share the stream out if you haven't done so already. Do it on any of the multiple social media. I have a spot on every one of these places up here, although I'm not really active on anyone. I'm becoming more active on Minds. Minds is interesting to me, and I have a couple people I interact with on that particular platform, but mostly Twitter and then YouTube, obviously. But share the stream out. If you really like what we do, you can support the channel in other ways. Just read down in the description below where you can find out that information. Thank you for everyone who sponsored the show today, including Black Hebrew Israelite, Select the Boy, Gunfox61, Chef James, Johnny Hellcat, and Rod Line. Thank you for sponsoring the show today. I greatly appreciate it. Hi, Amy. I didn't say hi to you earlier, but now I see that you're here. Good morning to you too. Thanks, everybody. It is time for me to go. The news links will be in the tab probably before the outro is done playing. I got to go. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Have a fantastic day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.